A secondary offering is when a company or its shareholders sell additional shares to the public after an initial public offering, IPO. Unlike an IPO, a secondary offering does not create new shares or dilute the existing ones. The company does not receive any proceeds from the sale of the shares by its shareholders. GFL Environmental, GFL, is a leading provider of environmental solutions and waste management services in North America. The company went public in March 2020 and raised $1.4 billion in its IPO. On May 17, 2023, GFL announced that some of its selling shareholders intended to offer 14.1 million subordinate voting shares in a secondary offering at the public offering price of $36.20 per share. The selling shareholders included BCC GFL Borrower, Cayman, LP, OTPP Environmental Services Trust, GFL Borrower 2, Cayman, LP and Pool Private Capital, LLC. These shareholders were among the early investors in GFL who helped the company grow through acquisitions and organic expansion. The secondary offering was upsized to 18.2 million shares on May 18, 2023, due to strong demand from investors. The offering was expected to close on May 21, 2023. The reason why the selling shareholders decided to sell their shares was not disclosed by GFL or the underwriters. However, some possible reasons could be to diversify their portfolio and reduce their exposure to a single company, to take advantage of the high valuation of GFL's shares, which have increased by more than 50% since the IPO, to provide liquidity to the market and increase the public float of GFL's shares, which could attract more institutional investors and analysts. The secondary offering did not affect GFL's operations or financial performance. The company reaffirmed its full-year 2023 guidance of revenue between $5.6 billion and $5.8 billion and adjusted EBITDA between $1.3 billion and $1.35 billion. The company also stated that it would continue to pursue its growth strategy of organic and acquisition opportunities across its markets. In this video, we are talking about how GFL Environmental raised $657 million in a secondary offering. But who are the selling shareholders and how many shares did they sell at what price? The selling shareholders are four entities that own a significant stake in GFL Environmental. They are BCEC GFL Borrower, Cayman, LP, OTPP Environmental Services Trust, GFL Borrower 2, Cayman, LP and Pool Private Capital LLC. Together, they sold 18,176,073 subordinate voting shares of GFL Environmental in the secondary offering. The subordinate voting shares are a class of shares that have 1 vote per share and rank junior to the multiple voting shares that have 10 votes per share and are held by the founder and CEO of GFL Environmental, Patrick Davajai. The selling shareholders sold their shares at a public offering price of $36.20 per share, which represents a discount of about 4% from the closing price of $37.44 on May 17, 2023. The total gross proceeds from the sale amounted to $657.6 million. The secondary offering was upsized from the initial plan to sell 14,084,507 shares, which indicates a strong demand from investors. The underwriters for the offering were Goldman Sachs & Co. LLC and Goldman Sachs Canada Inc. GFL Environmental did not receive any proceeds from the secondary offering, as it was not issuing any new shares. The secondary offering reduced the ownership of the selling shareholders in GFL Environmental, but did not affect the voting control of Davajai, who still owns about 70% of the voting power. The secondary offering was a way for the selling shareholders to monetize some of their investment in GFL Environmental, which is one of the largest environmental services companies in North America. GFL Environmental provides waste management, recycling, infrastructure and soil remediation services to more than 135,000 commercial and municipal customers. That's all for this section. In the next section, we will discuss why GFL Environmental decided to do a secondary offering and what it means for its future growth prospects. The secondary offering of GFL Environmental was announced on May 17, 2023, and priced on May 18, 2023. The selling shareholders offered 18.176 million subordinate voting shares at a public offering price of $36.20 per share, which represents an increase of 4.091 million shares from the previously announced offering size. The underwriters for the offering were Goldman Sachs & Co. LLC and Goldman Sachs Canada Inc. GFL did not receive any proceeds from the offering as it was not issuing any new shares. The market reaction to the offering was mixed. On the one hand, some investors may have viewed the offering as a sign of confidence in GFL's growth prospects and financial performance, as the selling shareholders were willing to sell their shares at a premium to the market price. On the other hand, some investors may have seen the offering as a sign of increased supply and reduced demand for GFL's shares, as the selling shareholders were reducing their stake in the company. The share price of GFL closed at $37.37 on May 18, 2023, down 0.19% from the previous day. The implications of the offering for GFL's growth and expansion plans are positive. The offering does not affect GFL's capital structure or liquidity, as it does not involve any new debt or equity issuance by the company. The offering also does not dilute the existing shareholders' ownership or voting rights, as the subordinate voting shares have 1 vote per share, while the multiple voting shares held by the founder and CEO Patrick Davijai have 100 votes per share. The offering may also increase GFL's public float and trading volume, which could enhance its visibility and attractiveness to investors and analysts. GFL is one of the largest diversified environmental services companies in North America, providing solid waste management, infrastructure and soil remediation, and liquid waste management services. The company has a proven track record of organic growth and strategic acquisitions, having completed over 140 acquisitions since its inception in 2007. The company operates in Canada and 27 states in the United States, serving more than 4 million households and over 135,000 commercial and industrial customers. GFL intends to continue pursuing its growth and expansion plans by leveraging its diversified service offerings, strong customer relationships, operational excellence, and disciplined capital allocation. The company expects to benefit from favorable industry trends such as increasing environmental regulations, urbanization, population growth, and infrastructure spending. The company also plans to expand its geographic footprint and market share by pursuing attractive acquisition opportunities in both existing and new markets.